a temperature of an enclosure for pet turtles should be about 80 degrees, give or take 5 degrees. So what would my range here be? John?
So 75,
75 degrees to what?
85.
Good, 85 degrees. Okay, again, you're at 80s in the middle. You can go down by 5 and up by 5. So as long as I'm within 75 to 85 degrees, that little pet turtle's happy. Okay? Okay, let's go down then the next one here. Absolute value. Absolute value. All right, the absolute value is the distance from 0. Okay, absolute value. Now the absolute value symbol is two like straight lines around a number. Okay, two straight lines around the number. So if I'm thinking about the distance from 0, and I'm thinking about 4, how far away is 4 from 0?
4.
4, okay. Now, what if I ask you, what would the absolute value of negative 4 be?
4.
Okay, it would also be 4. So think about that for a second. When we're talking about the distance of something, think about driving, okay? If we're driving our car, do I say I'm going negative 20 miles that way? No, you say 20 miles east or west, north, south, or to the right, or to the left. You're putting directional units on it, right? But we don't talk about positive, negative when we're driving, okay? So the distance is always positive, and then it's what direction are we going, okay? So this is the distance from 0. Well, it doesn't matter if it's a positive 4 or negative 4, it's 4 units from 0, okay? All right, so now with that being said, let's look at number 1 here. Okay, when you're looking at an expression, remember no equal sign in our expression, you're going to attack the absolute value first. Okay, so you're going to treat it just kind of like it's in a set of parentheses, and we're going to be doing order of operations. Okay, so inside my absolute value first, what's the first thing we're going to do here?
4.
Okay, we're going to multiply. So 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, so I've got the absolute value of 8 minus 10. And then I still have the plus 13 on the outside, okay? Try not to do too many things at once here. That's usually where you guys start to get in trouble, when you do too many steps at once, okay? So now what's 8 minus 10? Negative 2. So I have the absolute value of negative 2 plus 13. Now what's the absolute value of negative 2?
2.
2, okay? So the absolute value of negative 2 is 2. So you're going to work the absolute value, and then you're actually going to take the absolute value of that one number that's left on the inside. So we've got the absolute value of negative 2 is 2 plus 13. So what's my final answer going to be? 15. Okay.
So, is it always positive with absolute value?
Okay, when you take the absolute value of that number, it's positive. It doesn't mean your final answer will be positive, because it depends on what's going on in the outsides.
Alright.
Okay? Alright, so let's try another one. So let's look at number 2. Again, working the inside of the absolute value. Now, what are two negatives side by side going to become?
Positive.
Good. Comes addition. Very good. So then what is 12 plus 9? Okay, so I have 2 minus 3, absolute value 21. Again, I'm going to work the absolute value first, and then I'll worry about everything else. Okay? So now, what is the absolute value of 21? 21. Okay, the absolute value will always be positive. Okay? So I've got 2 minus 3 times 21. Okay, now thinking about PEMDAS, what are we going to do next? Are we going to take 2 minus 3 or 3 times 21?
3 times.
Good, 3 times 21. Okay, what is 3 times 21? Good. So I've got 2 minus 63. What are we going to get there for our final answer? Good, negative 61. Different signs subtract, and we have more negatives. Okay. Okay, does anybody have a question so far on 1 or 2?
Oh, never mind.
Are you sure?
I was gonna ask, you got the parentheses from.
Yeah, and once we take the absolute value, because we just got to show it's still multiplication. If you want to say 3 times 21 with the multiplication sign, that would be fun too. Okay? Thomas, did you have a question back there?
I had the same question, yeah.
Okay, very good. Anybody else? Okay, yes. Okay, so on number 3, okay, you guys are you're gonna have somewhere you've got to plug in the letters. Alright, so you're gonna go ahead and plug in the 4 first. So I've got negative absolute value of 4 plus 6 minus 14 plus 4. Everybody good on that first step?
Where did you get 4?
Tells me that if m equals 4. Okay. Alright, okay, so
I
now.
didn't see that, okay?
It's okay. It's okay, guys. Alright, so what are we gonna do now? John?
Distribute the
No, we don't distribute the negative when we got absolute values involved.
add 4 to 6.
Add 4 and 6, okay? So again, we're gonna put together what's inside our absolute value, okay? So we have got negative absolute value of 10, and then minus 14 plus 4. Now, what's the absolute value of 10?
10.
Okay, so I have a 10. Now, what you have to be careful of though is this negative is on the outside. It is going to drop in. We haven't done anything with this guy yet, okay? So while the absolute value of 10 is 10, now I'm going to drop in that negative, and it's going to actually be a negative 10 minus a 14 plus 4. All right, so now, what is negative 10 minus 14?
Negative 44.
Good, negative 24. Same signs add. Okay, same signs add. So we get negative 24 plus 4. What do we get there?
Negative 20.
Good, negative 20. Different signs subtract. Keep the bigger sign. Okay? Okay, any questions on number 3? All right, I want you to take a minute. I want you to try number 4 on your own. Number 4 on your own.